I'm Brooke.
And I'm Todd.
And this is Football Friday. So this week on Football Friday, we're talking about midfielders.
Yeah. So, I thought we maybe can discuss a little bit about positions in football. Yeah. There's several positions on the field, and they have changed over the years. When I was a kid and played a little bit of football here or there, we played what would be probably a 3-3-4. So we had 3 defenders. We called them fullbacks at the time.
Okay.
This is like ancient history.
Okay.
So we had 3 fullbacks, 3 midfielders, or 3, we called them halfbacks.
Okay.
And we had the left half, center half, and right half. And then we had 4 forwards. We had left wing, right wing, center forward, and right center forward.
Okay.
When I was a kid and we played. So yeah, a little interesting, and maybe that's something that was only really prevalent in kids' youth soccer, because and then they would put people in the different positions based on how good they were at the position. Of course, there's also the goalie, but we won't talk about the goalie because the goalie's job is to keep the ball out of the net. And so, but when I was a kid, we had the really fast kids. Would play for the forward positions, and then the really good defenders, the big kids, would play the fullbacks, and they would also be pretty fast as well. And then all the other kids would be stuck in the midfield position, and so I played midfield, of course, because I was neither fast nor big.
Okay.
And they would put the best midfielder at center, and or the best of those 3 at the center position, and then they would put the next best on the right side, and then they would put the worst on the left side. Of course, I played left midfield, left halfback. Yeah. So mostly, so I was probably the so not very good, but so and that was fun. The one good thing is I did learn how to use my left foot a little bit, so and maybe that was kind of the reason they had me on the left side, because I could stop the ball from going out with my left foot, but or just but now going forward to the modern game, they play formations like a 4-4-3 or
is it 4-4-2? 4-8.
Yeah. 4-4-2. Yeah, or a 4-3-3. Sorry, 4-4-2, 4-3-3, or something like that, where you have 4 defenders, 4 midfielders, and they're now called midfielders. Yeah. And either 3 attackers or forwards, or 2 attackers, depending. But even then, you have a lot of different kinds of midfielders now. Yeah. I don't know if you know any of the different terms for different kinds of midfielders.
Not really, no.
Okay. Well, so there's a central midfielder.
Okay.
Sometimes they might be a box to box midfielder.
Okay.
So they play a lot of both offense and defense. They go in full length of the pitch. Right. Actually, it's funny you're wearing your Jude Bellingham jersey. He's a really well-known current box-to-box midfielder. Then there's defensive midfielders, right? And they are really good at helping out on the defense, but getting the ball back up to the central or forward attacking midfielders or the forwards. Then there's they can wide midfielders.
Okay.
A great example of a wide midfielder is probably one of the most famous football players to all of us Americans, anyway, is David Beckham.
Okay, yeah.
So,
I know who that is.
Yeah. I mean, we all wish we could bend it like Beckham,
right,
of course.
Yeah.
Now that's most of what we know, right?
Yeah. Well, he's also married to Posh Spice, so some people know him because of that.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So good. Posh Spice's husband.
Yeah.
All right. David Beckham.
Yeah.
So. Also, the attacking midfielders sometimes are called advanced playmakers.
Okay.
Now, some of the better ones now you might know of is Zinedine Zidane, or Lionel Messi or Diego Maradona. And for those of you watching this, I might be wrong about some of this information. I'm just learning myself, so I'm trying to convey what I'm learning.
Well, I did know who all of those people were, so...
Okay, good. Yeah. And actually, I was looking at some rankings of the best midfielders of all time, and based on what we've been watching recently is some Real Madrid games.
Yeah.
Actually, Luka Modric is one of the top midfielders of all time now, and so we kind of love watching him play. He's
absolutely
coming towards the end of his career now, I guess.
Yeah, he's 39, so it's
it's fun. I guess kind of he is really one of those guys that can control the play and has the vision to see and move the ball up to the forwards. And so, but Jude Bellingham is also very good. Some of the things, just knowing when and where to pass, which forwards to pass, knowing when a forward makes his run.
Yeah.
So and we know what happens if you wait too long when a forward makes his run. You get Kylian Mbappe offside. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
so you have to anticipate that the forward's going to make his run and then pass it to him at the time. But then again, also I've seen Bellingham, I think, scored a goal recently that we watched where he was following up the play and caught the rebound and scored with it. So that's cool. So actually, one of the things I learned about too is I don't know if you've heard of the term false 9 or false 10.
Yes.
Yeah, so I don't know if those are formations on the field. Do you know anything about those? I
know it's when the forwards drop back into the midfield.
Yeah. So, and from what I learned is that actually they tend to pull. They actually are playing with extra midfielders and less forwards, and the forwards are I don't know, kind of their they do pull back and play more deeper and more as midfielders. Yeah. One of the interesting things I saw was one of the best false 9 players of all time is actually Alex Morgan, the U.S. woman who. Yeah. So I thought that's pretty cool. Yeah. So so it's just kind of a fun thing to see. There's midfielders, but there's all sorts of different midfielders, and it's really, I think, the game has evolved to where that's really the critical roles, right? Yeah. Because your forwards have all the speed, and can receive the ball and can make that first touch on the ball, receiving the pass to control it exactly where they want. But the midfielder's got to have the vision to get it to the forward. And also be able to know, hey, it's time to take a shot, or get back and drop back and help on defense when needed, and bring the ball up, carry the play. There's also something called a holding midfielder, which they tend to be a little more defensive, but also hold on to the ball, control the play better. Okay. If that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah. So cool. So this is, I think it's a real critical position. It's you get now your best players seem to be either forwards or midfielders, as opposed to where when I was playing they stuck the players that weren't so good in the middle. Yeah. and the best players were the forwards or the defense. Okay. So good.
So who's your favorite midfielder you've ever seen play?
That's a tough one because I don't remember too many of the games I've seen in person playing, but in watching TV, I probably have to say that Claudio Reyna. Okay. Being American, he's one of the best American midfielders I've ever seen play. Okay.
I don't know who that is.
Okay. So yeah, he went to the University of Virginia. He played in I think 4 World Cups with the U.S. national team. I think in he was really pretty good in terms of had a lot of international appearances. He played in Bundesliga, I think a lot. I think he may have played in the Premier League for a while. I don't remember his full career.
Wait. Actually, I do think I know who it is because his son plays for the U.S. men's team, I think, if I'm thinking of the right person.
It could be.
And his son plays for Dortmund, and he used to play with Jude Bellingham.
Oh, cool. Okay, I'm that's good to know. So, I mean, I haven't, but he's almost the same age as me. He's a year younger than me.
Yeah.
So
then
Claudia
that would
right
make
now.
sense.
So, so
is he from New York?
He was born in New Jersey, I think. So
close.
Yeah, I think his father was from Argentina. So and his parents moved from Argentina in the late '60s. And so, I mean. So I guess that's probably. How about you? I'm assuming Jude Bellingham's your favorite.
Yeah, he's my favorite. He's really good, and you can tell like in his head that he's seeing like 3 passes ahead. Mm-hmm. So like he knows when to follow the ball, when to move up to a higher position, when to move back, and also what was I gonna say? He like cares about everyone on the team too, so he's not just focusing on like what's happening on the pitch, but he's also thinking about his teammates off the pitch too. Good. And I think that's really important in players.
Nice. Good. Yeah, absolutely. So I mean, your team it can be either made a lot better or a lot worse by the quality of play of your midfielders. So that because of how they distribute the ball and help out and cover the open man on defense. And the late man dropping, making the late run. The midfielder's got to cover him because the back's already there. You know, if they're doing that right, your team looks smart on defense and they look smart on offense. And they control the tempo and how quickly the balls are distributed and you know and switching the sides and various things. So it's great. So cool.
Is that it?
Yeah, I think so. Are we good? All right. Well, good.
Thank you for listening to Football Friday, and don't forget to check out our regular weekly episodes of Wine Together. If you want to join the conversation, don't forget to follow us on Instagram and TikTok @WineTogetherPod.